Welcome to UC News, ucnewscanada.ca, the Canadian Crisis Response. I'm Dr. Dave. The Mayor and Council of Quinte West have continued their all-out assault on the Government of Canada, refusing to obey the law and working behind the scenes to ensure Quinte residents have no say about anything that impacts their lives and future. They have written a vague, sweeping city plan with no substantial content, no recognition of the very real problems we face, no understanding of the role of government, no description of the actual activities of Quinte West City Hall, fully designed to look nice and allow the directors to do anything they want, with complete denial of the rights of citizens to engagement and self-determination, a plan that contains no tangibles, no components of a plan that could be called real, no standards by which to assess competency and completion of tasks. A plan claiming they are landlords and we are tenants, that they are a business and we are customers, claiming excellence in customer service with focus on communication, when they fully intend to allow no communication whatsoever, no significant discussion as required under the law. An expensive plan, a complete waste of money as an illegal document, avoiding work that they should have done themselves as part of their job. Most importantly, recognizing that the task of determining what City Hall needs to do under the law belongs in the hands of citizens who pay for the work to be done. Written by outside consultants claiming to be experts, exhibiting no understanding at all of the role, function, and purpose of government, and certainly no understanding of the issues in our community. Aiming for the complete removal of community self-determination by arbitrary rule is a key feature of emplacing the working mechanisms of an authoritarian state in which citizens have no say about anything that impacts their lives and future. The consultants produced a political document telling the Mayor and Council exactly what they wanted to hear, not a legal document of accountability following the required standards of relations between government and people. The document is illegal under any assessment of the law, being vague, arbitrary, and in overbreadth, far beyond the scope of any legitimate form of government. Its goal is to deceive and misdirect for the sole purpose of directing anomalous benefit to a few individuals with no actionable benefit at all to Quinte residents. The criminal code charge is fraud, with rejection of the law and Canadian Constitution Act being sedition. The functionally illiterate leadership team is incapable of writing anything of substance and believe that if they produce glossy flyers, our problems will be solved. Ruined lives, a gutted downtown, a boarded up windows that looks like a war zone, flyers that leave Trenton residents wondering where this wonderful town is. Critical thinking in this case of fraud is simple. If you compare any city document to a list of the known problems in your life and in respect to life in Canada, including the major issues driving the destruction of our lives and planet, you will find the contrast to be not only sharp, but indicative of minds completely out of touch with the reality of our lives. That condition, in sharp contrast to our charter, requiring a firm basis of decision-making in fact, evidence, and reason, is well characterized in the mental health community as being coincident with the symptoms of ASPD, a condition in which those seeking positions of power over others have strong tendencies to disregard fundamental human rights to life, liberty, and security of the person. In this political pathology, reality plays no part in what the sociopath wants to do. Only their views matter, and those views always involve the creation of confusion, the exertion of power to the extent of crippling damage, ludicrous claims of unlimited ownership, and the complete removal of self-determination from citizens. Citizens are free to disregard this city plan as being of no force or effect, and are further free to write their own plan, directing their employees in government as to the work they must do and how they are to do it. The standards set by the Supreme Court concerning decision-making are extremely low, but it is characteristic of sociopaths to reject any idea at all of being under the law. Disregard for the law is common, and many take pleasure in seeing what they can get away with, how extreme they can be without evoking too much outrage, and sneakily working behind the scenes to control, disrupt, distort, and manipulate. The result of these actions is that the body of City Hall ranks high in the markers of the psychopathy checklist, and we know City Hall as not helpful, often useless, and always insanely complex and expensive. Our simple questions are rebuffed, we are sent in circles, and the net experience is that of government against people. Expressed colloquially, we are paying a fortune for expensive idiots that don't know what they're doing and further block us from taking reasonable actions under the law that meet all charter requirements of safety, sanity, fact, evidence, and reason. For example, it would be sane and reasonable in a work and food security crisis to get people together to grow food and create work. Yet, it is characteristic of sociopaths to be adamantly against this. And the mayor has written this into policy and city websites, ensuring that no one will be able to do anything. Fraud is rampant, the purpose of lying being theft. If we want to know the reason for having a dog license, for example, the mayor and council have not done the work, refused to respond, say this is a secret, and if we want to know, we must pay. And have made this a commodity in which we pay for services we already paid taxes for. We can only understand this as the workings of an insane, convoluted mind working at obstruction of justice in manners that make life exceedingly difficult and expensive for everyone around them, citizens and staff included. We submit this as evidence of the state of mind of the authors. And yet the actual work is so simple, a grade school student could do it in an afternoon, in full compliance with our charter requirements. We cannot obey law that cannot be understood, and we further know that much law has been written by people that make no sense, lacking the cognitive capacity and the necessary development of moral reason to make just decisions focused on the behalf and benefit of those impacted by the law. The Mayor and Council of Quinte West have produced documents saying just this, that we have no say over our lives in future, and that they have the right to control our lives down to the finest detail without reason. On this matter, we do not agree, and neither does the Supreme Court of Canada, as overthrowing the justice system and our democracy are criminal code violations of obstruction of justice, sedition, and also treason, when the mayor has produced detailed plans and taken extreme action to cause the death of the children of the king, which is the case.